One thing that I love as much as filmmaking is a puff pastry that's filled with sweet custard cream, and today we're gonna make just that. Hi, and welcome to Cooking While Quarantine. This episode is my first time trying to actually bake, but it turned out pretty good. So, we're making a green tea cream puff. Let's get started. We're gonna need some unsalted butter, sugar, salt, green tea powder, all-purpose flour, some heavy creams, and some milk, lots of eggs, and vanilla extract. We're gonna start with the green tea cookies. Start with 90 grams of all-purpose flour, 3 teaspoons of green tea powder, mix them all up, and set that aside for a little bit. Now grab a large bowl. Soften 80 grams of room temperature unsalted butter. Now, when I tell you room temperature, I mean it, because you don't want to go on the same route as me, trying to soften cold butter, because that's a workout. So once the butters are softened out, it goes 100 grams of sugar and try to mix them as much as you can. Once the sugar is all incorporated, throw in dry mixture and mix them until you get those kinetic sand type or like a wet sand type texture, and you actually get. Now grab your parchment paper, throw that on top of the parchment paper, throw another parchment paper on top of that, and then flatten them out to about maybe 2 millimeters thick, and throw that into the fridge. And then we're gonna let that cool off before we actually use it. We're gonna start making our choux pastry now. So warm up 120 milliliter of water, add 50 grams of unsalted butter and a pinch of salt. When the butter is all melted, turn off the heat, add 75 grams of all-purpose flour, mix them all up. Once it's all incorporated, turn on the heat again, mix it for about maybe a minute or two until the steam starts to come out and you start seeing a little coating from the bottom of your pot. Then turn off the heat, let it rest for about 10 minutes. When it's a little bit lukewarm, mix in 2 eggs, and you just successfully making your first choux pastry, and I congratulate you. Now grab your piping bag, pipe them into about maybe 3 inches wide little dollops. You cut those little cookies of yours with the cookie cutter, top it off. If it's a little bit too big, it's fine. If it's a little bit too small, it's fine too. Then you want to preheat the oven at 400 Fahrenheit and pop those bad boys in. Well, once you pop it in, turn down the oven to 375 and bake for about 20 minutes until the choux are all well cooked. Now let's get to the green tea custard. Separate 6 egg yolks, add 100 grams of sugar, 45 grams of all-purpose flour, 5 grams of green tea powder, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Give it a little stir and mix them all together. And now add 500 milliliter of warm milk, stir them all up, and transfer into a pot. Cook on a medium heat until it's all creamy. Then transfer into a tray, put a parchment paper on top, and let it completely cool off. Now, the next step, I lost the footage of it, but I'm gonna use this cute cat videos to make up for it while I'm explaining to you how easy the next step is. So when it's all cool off, just whip up 200 milliliter of heavy cream and combine those green tea custard that we just make, and yep, that is it. You're ready to start putting everything together. But before that, let's talk about food fact. No matter what name you might call them, but we can't deny that cream puffs are one of the world's favorite dessert. I mean, who doesn't like a fluffy pastry filled up with sweet cream? Come on. The origin of the pastry itself are really obscure, but one myth that was quite popular is that the pastry was introduced in France by Caterina de' Medici, the wife of Henry II. However, if we really looked into the history of baking, long before her time, cooks in the 13th century in South Germany and France had been making some puff pastries that's filled with rich and creamy cheese mixture already, which make those maybe the first ever version of cream, or should I say, cheese puff. From then, the recipe has evolved and gained popularity, which started to branch out into many names and versions. In the United States, cream puff was first introduced in Boston in 1851. We even have a National Cream Puff Day on January the 2nd, and guess what? The world record of largest cream puff was created here in the US, and that will include our food fact for today. Now, let's get back to cooking. So, our choux pastry came out of the oven perfectly. The cookie coating is crispy and perfect. The pastry is soft and fluffy. Now just make a little hole on the bottom and start piping those green tea custard of yours until it all filled up. And when I say that, I mean fill it all the way up until the cream oozes out of your puff pastry. That sounds kind of weird, but yep, exactly what I mean. and you are actually done. It is ready to be served. Now this is one of my favorite desserts, and now I don't have to go out and buy them anymore because this batch will last me a long time. I mean, I basically make probably about 15 or 20 cream puff with this recipe, but it was really delightful. The pastry is really fluffy and soft. The green tea custard is really good, and I actually put it in the fridge so it's nice and cold. It's not too sweet, perfectly creamy. If you love green tea and you love cream, this is a perfect quarantine menu for you. Try them out and let me know how you like it, and thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos, and